So you retired from the Cowboys after a really successful career. How have you found the transition into the retirement, which is, it's something I found tough, not going to training all the time, having fun with the boys, knowing exactly what you're doing, and obviously the money side of things?
Mate, yeah, it was tough initially. Look, it's okay now, but the hardest part when you do retire is obviously the money dries up. You're on a significant wage for so long, and you're able to, and it's coming in monthly, and the cash flow is good, and you're able to go out and buy investment properties, and the bank managers love you and whatnot. But when that stops and the reality hits, that you have to go into the real world to make a living, it's tough. I sort of jumped into a developing business when I retired, and things were going great for a period until the GFC. So that sort of hit us hard, and we basically had to sell the development that we were doing down at Hastings Point, and sort of walk away with our tails between our legs. So now, I think the best thing now for me is that I'm working for myself. So I've only got myself to blame for my wins and my losses. So, and I think that's a great thing. It's I trust myself, and look, I'm a good people person, and I offer a good service. So yeah, my business is going okay.
Oh, that's good. Identified services if you're after the cleaning side of things, but yeah, like it's a big transition, not only for the player when you retire, but the partner as well. A lot of times they're not working, and it's and I see in so many cases, and I'm one of the statistics, a divorce after you finish playing, and it's a massive thing in rugby league, and it's something that could be looked at.
Mate, for sure. I think the NRL spent a lot of money, educating the player for life after football, but they forget about the partner, who, it's a base. It's to them, it's a career as well. They're giving up so much. They're having kids, so they're full-time mums. They're stuck at home. They give up their own sort of identity, and when that's finished, there's a lot of pressure internally from that team to go out and make ends meet. And I had that problem. My partner wouldn't go out. She thought things were going to be great with business, and it wasn't. So there was a pressure from me to get her out into the workforce, and she wouldn't go out and work. So that's why probably I'm not here with her today.
Yeah, and it's a struggle, and that's certainly, and as I said, you're not the only one in that situation, and a lot more has got to be done in all aspects of retirement. Obviously we've got the young players as well. They've got to be, only a small percentage make it, but it's such a big gap when you retire. And I don't know about you, I'm pretty sure the same, but I'd give anything to play again. And when I see players mucking up and they're on $650,000 a year, all I can think is you go and try and earn that out in the workforce, because I'll tell you what, they're not going to, and that's a lot of money. And for the sake of just not mucking up and keeping your contract and being set for life after footy, it's a small price to play. Just play the game we love.
Yeah, and and we came through those different areas where it wasn't a full-time job where you had to go out and work, and a lot of guys when we were coming through had businesses of their own, and they're successful today. When it went semi-pro, the guys were still working and training, and then it went professionally, and it's changed the whole dynamic where rugby league is your full-time job, but it's only your job for a small time of your life. So, and you've got to make hay while the rain, while the sun shines. So yeah, it's guys that take rugby league for granted. You know, like the latest Ben Barber saga is, you know, it's really unfortunate for young Ben, who's made the wrong choice, and now he's without a job, without an income.
Yeah, a lot of money. Well, thanks for your time, Campo. Actually, before I go, what do you think of the current game? What do you think of the current NRL game, and what would you change if you could?
Look, I think the current game is in good order. The only thing that I don't like it's too athletic, and there's not the skill sets of, you know, of 20 years ago, which we grew up watching. It was funny when I got to Seagulls, coming down from Mackay. I played Fowler Shield up there, and I was obviously nervous rocking up on my first day and thinking, you know, I'm going to be with the elite players, and they're going to be so much better than everyone else. And, you know, because I hadn't been in the system, I was just a country boy from the bush. But when I actually got here, a lot of players didn't have the basic skills. They couldn't tackle, or they couldn't catch, and they couldn't pass.
Both ways.
They couldn't draw and pass. You know, simple skills that we learnt in the bush at an early age. I think the NRL, their development systems these days are just too focused on the you know, the top system, where they're getting away from the basics of holding the ball in two hands and, you know, drawing and passing, and I think that starts from the junior levels. You know, I was coaching my kids from, you know, under 10s to under 13, 14s, and, you know, they weren't allowed to bomb or you know, things like that until under 13. So they weren't allowed to chip and chase, or, you know, those little skills that we grew up on. You know, it was part of backyard footy. You know, and that's where you honed your skills. You know, some of the players that I played with as kids were so much more gifted than me, but you know, they didn't have a calling for rugby league. They didn't want to pursue rugby league. But when you look back, and you'd name 5 players off the top of your head who were so much better than you, juniors, because they were so skillful. But, you know, they honed those skills playing backyard footy, and obviously back then it was that backyard footy was, when we were coming through, say from under 10s, it was a full field, international rules
with the big ball.
Yeah.
And you played footy, and I like you, I'm glad I grew up in the country. We just played footy. We didn't have the structures a lot of kids are just taught with at too early an age, and we just played what we saw, played some footy. And Campo and I have one thing in common. We never made a Queensland side as a kid. Never looked like making one all the way through juniors, and we were lucky enough to play Origin. So, you know, that's not the be all and end all. It's about what you do at the end of it all, and all the hard work. And I always look at it as if, you know, as soon as you give up, it gives someone else an opportunity, and that's sort of, I think, our careers are parallel that in that way a little bit, that we just kept chipping away and going. But mate, thanks for doing the first episode with AVTV, and great to have you here, and hope everyone enjoys it. Cheers.